Hello. This quick video will help campus staff not only understand how easy it is to post student positions in Handshake, but also to review some critical requirements your position description must include. So in addition to this video, we've also created a step-by-step guide complete with screenshots and links to required verbiage to assist you with your posting. So let's get started. The first thing that you'll see when you log into Handshake using your Berkeley email and password is that at the top of your screen, you'll see a button that says Create Job. So we're going to do that now. The first thing it asks you to do is to write out your job description. A couple of things to highlight here. If you have a previous position that you'd like to copy and or edit, you can actually choose it using this button here that says Copy Description from Existing Job. You'll also see this box at the bottom that is automatically checked. I recommend that you keep that checked. What happens is the AI assistant in Handshake will autofill many of the remaining fields to complete your posting. Of course, you'll want to go through and click and read to make sure that all the details are correct. As of January 2025, the campus is asking that all job descriptions must include the misconduct disclosure as well. So a copy of this disclosure is actually included in the guide that is shared on our website. You can copy and paste the language and the links that are right here on this document. And then finally, to support students' learning and career development, our office is asking that you consider adding information about the beneficial career readiness competencies that they will gain through your position. We've created some language here. You are welcome to edit and add only those that are relevant to your position. And a link to this document is also found in our published guide. So let's go back to Handshake. So a couple of things that we also recommend, and what I'm going to do is copy from an existing position just to show you something that I've done relatively recent. So I searched for it, it found it, I said add, and here we go. Okay, so we're going to walk through this. So a notation at the top to indicate that you're looking for work study or not can be really helpful for students to identify or use as a keyword as they're looking. A department description is actually really helpful on here, which of course I don't have that listed, but if I were to, I've got one on a different, we could do here, department description, and then copy paste. I can bold this. So we've got a few text editing features up here. Okay, so including that is helpful for students. I've also got a summary on here, a breakdown of the position responsibilities. I actually recommend doing this by percentage if you're able to. I don't have that on my previous position, so that's something that I would want to add in later. And then the qualifications, if you want to break those up between preferred and required, you're welcome to do that, or maybe just a list here would be helpful. And then, of course, you can see what I've done with just posting, copy paste career readiness, and then copied and paste the misconduct disclosure along with the required links at the bottom. Once you're ready to go, I'm going to go ahead and press continue. It is analyzing the job description. So now it's going to choose some of the other, what it wants to include in there. So give it a minute. Hopefully it will come on soon. Here we go. All right, so it pulled from my position and from the last position, event student assistant. What I would edit here is just to say work, study, preferred, right? So for my instance, we're not requiring it. We'd love to have it. I'm going to put it in the job title again so a student can find it pretty easily. I'm also going to make sure, and it is correctly identified as an on-campus student employment position. Do not click on this work study program button if it is a work study job. This actually is not engaged. And if you click it and you get all the way to the end, it's not going to allow you to post the position because it is not a feature we have made live in our system. So just make sure that box is not clicked. We're going to press continue. What's the location? Is this a hybrid position? Is it remote or is it on site? So it identified it was on site based on my description in Berkeley. You can be more specific here and you can put the actual address or press continue. It will let me go on. Note here, this is part-time, less than 30 hours. I recommend, again, that you go ahead and put how many hours you expect it to be a week to give the student an idea of what the requirements will be. And then this would be a temporary or seasonal position. You're going to want to put a start date and an end date. Again, students are planners. Well, we hope they're planners. So we want them to know when the anticipated start date is. And I want students to know that this is going to run until the end of the semester. So I'm going to go through and pick a date, press continue. For the pay range, we ask that you click on custom range and then you let students know what the minimum pay is and the maximum. I recommend that you work with your HR partner or check the City of Berkeley website to make sure you are up to date on what the minimum wage is in our area. These are all optional at the as we go on, so you can just skip everything else on this page. Handshake does ask you to categorize your job. I found that there's 3 categories that are probably the most common for campus jobs. One of them is the one that was listed, university student researchers. The other is office and administrative support workers, and or you can choose miscellaneous, food preparation, and service workers. So those are just some examples. You only need to put one in there. And again, it's just another filter that a student could use when they're looking for a job. Work authorization. All on-campus jobs do require work authorization. And since this is campus job, then make sure that one is posted. All these are optional at the bottom. You can indicate majors if you want. You can indicate graduation, degree level. Again, these are just filters that students could use to search for a job. So you can look at it 2 ways. Leaving it very open-ended is going to allow all students to look at this position and go, wow, this could be me. If you really have some requirements with grad year majors that you're looking for, degree levels, make sure that you are clicking and putting the appropriate areas so that students can recognize that, okay, this is outside of my scope, or yes, this is definitely speaking to me. Because you posted this, because we posted it as an on-campus job, it's automatically going to only allow you to post to UC Berkeley. That makes sense. We're going to press continue. Application duration, it's going to default to 30 days from the point that you publish. However, you do have this option to customize. I highly recommend doing that. If you think that you're going to keep it open for an extended period of time, if you have like a shorter window, like I'm only going to post it for 2 weeks and I really need to get this hired quickly. So that's an option you can choose. And then number of hires. This isn't shown to anybody. This is just an internal gauge to help you keep track as you're looking at your data later, which Handshake has a lot of, and to kind of show like, okay, I said I was going to hire 2, I ended up hiring 5, whatever that might be. We recommend and ask that you keep all of your applications submitted here on Handshake. It makes it really easy for you as well as students to just collect all applications in one place. You can actually indicate on the next page how you want to be notified of those applications. You can note down here on the bottom which documents that you would like students to upload. They'll upload all of those directly into Handshake, and then you can see them later from the application tab. And then we're getting near the end here. Finally, you have the option to feature your name as being available for candidates to message. They'll see your name, but they will not see your email. They will just be messages through Handshake. If you don't want that ability, you just unclick it there. And then here you get to choose how you want to get the applications. Do you want one every time somebody applies? Do you want a notification if there's somebody who actually meets all of your qualifications? Or do you want just a summary at the end of the period? That's kind of where I fall. I usually just like a big summary email at the very end. And then this is great. If there's other people in your office or on your team that you want to receive these applications as well, you can add their name in this field here. And then press continue when you're ready to go. You're going to have one final skim through to make sure are all these fields the ones you want. You can see you can easily edit when you're ready. If something's wrong, then you can edit directly from here. And then when you are ready to go, on the top right, you click on post job. And if you're not quite ready to go, if somebody else needs to review this, or if you had a question based on the job description or something you put in there, you can always save this as a draft and go back to it later. As soon as you post job, which I'm not going to do because I don't want it to go live for my students right now. This is not a real job. As soon as you click that, it'll go live on the date that you indicated in this category below. What do we have here? On the application process where we had the open range, and it's good to go. If you have any questions, please reach out to my team at ocr@berkeley.edu. We appreciate you using Handshake as students are very active in there. It's a great place to post the jobs. And if you have questions, again, let us know. Thank you.